Shabbat Shalom.
Everyone got very quiet just then. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So nice to be with you on this fabulous Shabbat morning, as all of our kids behind us become B'nai Mitzvah. Welcome to our 96th confirmation class, Congregation Beth Israel. Pretty fabulous, pretty esteemed group of kids. It is our largest confirmation class since either Rabbi Khan or myself has been here at Beth Israel. And they're very quiet, shy people. This is the quietest I want you to know they've ever been. Ever. So it's a great pleasure to be with you. I definitely want to start by thanking two people who really helped bring it all together and who you should especially thank for the food that we're going to eat later in about 3.5 hours after our service is done. So a special thanks to Daniela Marshall, who is in Canada and could not be here, and Michelle Freeman, who is here, our two moms who helped put all this together. So a big thank you to both of them. We were going to go through our service. The confirmands are going to be doing throughout the service an iyun. An iyun is an introduction to a prayer. So in that iyun, they'll be introducing the prayer they're talking about, and they'll also add their own connection to confirmation and to this path and to being here, and so that's what you're going to be hearing from each of them. So you'll pay close attention because as each of them is doing the iyun, you'll see that it connects to a particular prayer. And sometimes it's before the prayer, sometimes it's after the prayer, but you'll sort of see how it all connects. Any questions? So we will officially begin.
Shabbat Shalom, CBI. Being included in this 96th confirmation class here at Congregation Beth Israel has transformed me as a Jew. I have created such tight bonds with everyone here on this bima and a deeply personal relationship with God. In confirmation, we broadened our perspective on God, how we view God, and how others view God. I am beyond grateful for this experience and for seeing all of these lovely faces for an hour every Thursday. This whole confirmation process is a privilege, and I will forever keep this close to my heart. As teenagers, our lives are confusing, as many of you know. Who are we going to be? Who are we going to sit with at lunch? Or why did I get such a terrible grade on that? Literally me every day. This is why it is critical that we know that there is always someone looking out for us. For me, I definitely know it is my parents, but I also feel there is a greater power. This power, I feel, manifests itself in my daily life. It helps me to know how my life will be planned out and provides me with a powerful guide for what I do every day. In the Torah, God provides guidance throughout our existence. While I believe most of that, I also believe that we can create our own path. We can make it our own, and that is what I strive to do every day. While as confirmands, we struggle to understand how we fit in this larger world around us and how we can actually make a difference, it is comforting to know that we have a large Jewish community out there for us. We also have a life after high school, so no need to dwell on the small stuff now. I always ask myself, will this matter in 5 years? This could obviously mean anything in life, but as we all stand here before you on this bima, I do know that being a confirmand will matter in 5 years and even beyond that. These moments and these relationships cannot and will not be replicated. First off, I would like to thank all of the confirmands sitting behind me. Each one of you brought your ideas and I took pieces of them all and for my own idea of Judaism. Another thank you goes out to Rabbi Khan and Rabbi Keller, or R. Kelly for short. And so, my little surprise, we steal candy in Rabbi Keller's office like every day. And so I got him candy.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Is that the first bag of the several that's coming?
Who knows? First off, I would like to apologize for my behavior on some of the Thursdays. There's just so much to say in such little time. You guys have facilitated us into becoming the Jews we are today, and I'm forever grateful. Mom and Dad, I really appreciate you supporting me through confirmation and also keeping me alive to this day. You guys do so much for me, and I just cannot thank you enough. In confirmation, we shared laughs, plenty of laughs. We had shared opinions and many deep thoughts. I appreciate the entire experience, and I know that I will keep this very close to my heart. Shabbat shalom, and thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carly Sachs, and my ayun will be about the Modeh Ani. The Modeh Ani is a prayer that gives thanks to God for allowing us to wake up every morning. We often take for granted how it is a miracle that we are able to wake up every morning safe and healthy. We often are angry that our incredibly annoying alarm clock has awoken us from our peaceful sleep, and we have to force ourselves to get out of bed and face the school or work day ahead. The Modeh Ani gives us an opportunity to be grateful that we are able to wake up, even though most days we seem to take that for granted. Over this past year in confirmation, I have grown a lot, and I have learned not to take the things in my life for granted. In this past year, we learned how we can each have different definitions of Judaism. We learned how we can all pray together in the same synagogue, but have completely different views on God, the afterlife, and what each prayer means to us. This confirmation class has shown me that Judaism is not about going to synagogue every week and sitting through services. Judaism, to me, goes hand in hand with having a sense of belonging to something greater than yourself. Judaism is all about the community. By attending Camp Stein, Nifty, and of course belonging to Congregation Beth Israel, I have experienced the power of the Jewish community in so many amazing ways. Growing up Jewish has shaped me for the better and has molded me into the person I am today. I look around the room and feel truly blessed to be praying in this beautiful place with some of my closest friends. Another topic we discussed in confirmation is the difference between regular relationships and godly relationships. A godly relationship is when you've made such a good connection with someone that you have godlike moments where time seems to stop, and by the time you realize the moment's happening, it's over. I have made so many godlike moments with my fellow confirmands, and I'm so excited to continue to grow my friendships with them and create new godlike moments in the years to come. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to confirm my belief in the Jewish religion with this class. Confirmation is only one milestone of my Jewish journey, and I can't wait to see what great things Judaism will continue to bring into my life. I would like to thank Rabbi Kahn and Rabbi Keller for putting up with our crazy confirmation class this year and teaching me so much this year and in all the years past. I would like to thank my parents and grandparents for always supporting me in everything I do. And finally, I would like to thank my fellow confirmands for always being there for me. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. We will now do the Modeh Ani on page 186. Modeh Ani lefanecha, nalechai v'kayam, shehechezarta b'nishmati behem la, behem la, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha.
Boker Tov, everyone. My name is Jack Strauss, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to be able to speak here today. This year is my first year as a member of CBI, as I used to be a member of Temple Emmanuel. But then I moved to Scottsdale because, everyone wants to be here. Here at CBI, I received an incredible amount of support and kindness from my friends and the staff as I was being confirmed. As I look back on my journey through these 16 years, yesterday was my birthday, by the way, I can't believe how much I've been able to learn and develop. First off, my biggest accomplishment was becoming a bar mitzvah. After that, I thought all my work was done. But here I am, speaking to another lovely crowd up on the bima. But I mean, it's exciting. I love it. During confirmation, I learned a new side to Judaism that I've never seen. I always thought before that it was just some prayers and what I was supposed to believe in. But this year, I saw that it was just more than my religion. Judaism to me is now a community. It's full of people that I have something in common with. During our classes with Rabbi, we would have fun times where we could all laugh together, but we would have serious discussions that would open a new door in my brain every time. We talked about more than just Judaism. We talked about countless things in life, like life lessons, certain morals, leadership, and we even learned about the history of Israel from Randy. Confirmation was a key process during my stage of development this year and has taught me lessons that I will use and remember for my entire life. The prayer that I received as a topic was Ma Tovu. This is a prayer that allows us to warm up for our morning service that is yet to come, like a morning coffee or a stretch before a game. The prayer involves a beautiful chant, which is perfect because it talks about the awe of God and God's temple. God has been a source of leadership for the Jewish people for millions of years. God is a sort of safe haven for us to think about in our minds as we go through the daily struggles of life. I think about God in awe every day as I look back on my life and see how blessed I truly am. I am able to wake up every day, do the things I love, and be with the people I want to be with, in a community that supports anyone no matter what size, color, or belief they have. God has provided us with the beauty of life. I just want to say thank you to the staff and the rabbis this year for teaching us how important Judaism really is and how we can all come together to learn. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
I guess it's my turn. Hello, everybody. My name is Nolan Allen, and this past year has been quite the journey for me. Similar to a lot of people, after I became bar mitzvah, I was saying, all right, that's it, I'm done. Things like that, and you see how that turned out. The bar mitzvah experience ended up just being a call to further examine my religion, ultimately leading me here to this 96 confirmation class at Congregation Beth Israel. It was almost like I received a Jewish wake-up call, a call similar to the Baruch Hu prayer. This prayer is the call to worship, declaring that Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. The Baruch Hu acts as the official call to worship, preparing us to engage in prayer. During services, I feel that I could feel the shift in the room when it comes to this prayer, as if you could feel the weight of every word that you are saying. The same happened in relation to my life. After I became bar mitzvah, I saw my brother Chad involved in the confirmation class. It became a goal I set my eyes on and never looked back. I knew the decision was tough, but it's what I believed in, and I'm happy I did it. Over this past year, this class covered a lot of different topics. Some I thought to be a little more interesting than the others, to be honest, but one really stuck with me is the dying, death, and the afterlife unit. It's a big question you have to ask yourself. What happens when we die? In this unit, we went over the beliefs of the Jewish people and how they interpret death in relation to how we interpret it. Lastly, as this year comes to a close, I think back about all the things that happened in my life this year. This year has taught me to be so much closer to my religion, as well as closer to my peers. Confirmation has shaped my life. It has helped me heed the call. Not like Transformers or anything. And I'm sure that I'm better for it. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, I'm Jacob Blackstone, and this is my Yun on Yotzer. Yotzer, it's a prayer of praise, which thanks God for the creations in our world. This prayer mainly references the creations of God, but it can have meaning down at our level too, depending on how it's interpreted. Personally, I like to interpret it as a prayer of thanks for the ability to allow us to create our own things. Not just material items, Things like relationships, faith, emotion, outcomes, etc. I'd like to place an emphasis on relationships and faith, though. Those creations of ours are the reason we're all sitting up here today, being confirmed. Over the past year, I forged friendships with these people behind me, several of whom I hardly knew at the start of my own. It was through the combination of faith and friendship that made confirmation class such an enriching experience. When I say faith, I don't necessarily mean prayer. Faith can Faith can be things like learning super cool Jewish facts, having a deeper understanding of why we do what we do, gaining a deeper understanding for Jewish culture, and the list goes on and on. Whether it was raiding Rabbi Keller's candy bowl, learning about Maimonides, or discussing our beliefs at the conference table, our relationships and strongest sense of faith that we created were and are present. Next month, when we go to Israel for 4 weeks, we'll have opportunities to strengthen these creations among ourselves. But enough about me. What about you all? How can Yotzer apply to you? Look around you, and also at you, even if it doesn't seem so. You've created a lot of things in your life. It could be a family, art, a living, a loaf of challah, whatever you want. Whatever it may be, what you've created, big or small, has made you into the person you are today. It surely did for me and everyone sitting behind me. Again, wonderful creations don't have to be a godlike concept. They can be directly on our level, physical or not. When we recite Yotzeret services, let's strive to create great things, whether it be a new friend or a billion-dollar invention. Let's remember to never stop creating. Shabbat Shalom.
Good morning. My name is Riley Grimes. Before I began confirmation, I did not have a very clear sense of what it was. Being a confirmand is part of finding and strengthening your Jewish identity. Confirmation classes go into very deep subjects, such as death, afterlife, and images of God. We discuss lots of controversial issues and ideas while giving our own opinions and listening to others. Confirmation has really expanded my image of God and Judaism as a whole. I leave confirmation with new ideas and thoughts that have expanded my intellect. If I had not been a part of this class, I would not have had so many deep, inspiring discussions that have altered my thinking on life. I have belonged at Congregation Beth Israel since 1st or 2nd grade. Through my many years, I have been to Sunday school, services, community events. I became bat mitzvah here, gone to my on, and now I am a confirmand. Even if at times I did not want to wake up early to go on a Sunday to go to a class, or had to miss another event in my life for the time I was spending at temple, I have gained so much. I can speak for each and every person in my confirmation class in saying, we have all become each other's closest friends through the process. We all get along so well and are very open to listening to one another's different ideas. I love getting to see all of the joyful faces of my friends every Thursday that bring so much joy to me. Most of us have grown up at Hebrew school together. We are all extremely lucky to have each other and get to connect through our religion. I've always looked forward to going to events and seeing my amazing peers every week. These people, along with the amazing rabbis, are what have made confirmation truly so special. This moment relates to the topic of Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah literally translates to great love. This is a prayer usually said in a morning service before the Shema. My fellow confirmands and I have been given lots of love. I could not ask for a better set of mentors for us to look up to, such as Rabbi Kahn, Rabbi Keller, Stacy, Heather, Brian, Randy, and many others that believe in us so much. During confirmation classes, we explored the subjects of where we thought God was and if God was always with us or not. Rabbi Kahn talked to us about God being in specific moments in our lives. A God moment is when you have a very deep connection with another person, even if it means sitting in silence. The deep connection within the moment is unexplainable. That is how you know God is there. Rabbi Kahn even mentioned the instant is usually over by the time you realize it's a God moment. I believe that these moments with God in our lives occur often, even if they are brief. That is why I feel so much Ahava Rabbah around this group of special people. There are so many God moments where I can easily connect so deeply with others. My love for fellow confirmands and all of our love for this temple and our religion can be seen by this very moment. I hope each and every one of you can find your own God moments and a group of exceptional people that make you feel loved. I am so grateful to have been a part of this confirmation and hope to carry its lessons and ideas on with me forever. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Join me on page 230 and read with me at the indented paragraph. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth and lead us upright to your land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people in Baruch atah Adonai, haboher b'amo.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Ahad. Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. The Shema is arguably one of the most important prayers in Judaism. While reciting this prayer, some people will close their eyes in order to close out everything around them and pay attention only to the words being said. The Shema is so important because unlike most prayers, it is not a request or offering of praise to God, but it is a declaration that Adonai, our God, is one. Like the Shema, confirmation so far has not been a request or offering to praise God. We have not asked, but declared and confirmed ourselves as young Jewish adults. My favorite part of confirmation and attending class every Thursday has been hearing everyone's different views and beliefs. We discussed different topics every week, and every week I got to hear how differently everyone viewed the same thing. While discussing the presence of God, it was so interesting to me to see how other people's opinions can be so completely opposite of one another. That's what's so amazing. Not one person standing up here today shares the same exact belief, but we can all confirm ourselves to the same religion. While reciting the Shema, people may interpret it in different ways or close their eyes for different reasons, but everyone standing up here is doing it together for the same God, the same religion, and declaring that Adonai, our God, is one. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Hannah Rose. The Emet prayer is about truth. The dictionary defines truth as the belief that is accepted as true. The Emet prayer states the truth. God is one, God is our sovereign and protecting shield, who redeemed us from Egypt. God is good and will help us survive evil, and believe and pray for a world filled with peace and freedom. The Emet prayer reminds us that we need to be true to ourselves as well. It is important to live authentically, to understand who really are and what works for you and what does not. The truth is to love oneself and everyone around you. The letters that spell out Emet are Aleph, Mem, Tav, which are the first, middle, and last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, representing an all-inclusive view of everything. We say, spell, and write. It is important for us to accept everyone like God loves everyone. I personally took a long time to find my true self. The truth is, I have an anxiety disorder, and I used to be trapped in my own body. I wanted to live fully and have all the incredible experiences that my peers were having at each moment, but my fears always got in my way. Over the years, as I matured, and with the support from my family, friends, and my Jewish community, I have been able to live the way I want. I have learned what works and what does not work for me. Therefore, I know how to conquer a lot of my fears. I can now do so many things that I was not able to do before, like standing here in front of you all. I can truly be myself. The Emet prayer confirms our ongoing commitment to the truth and our love and praise for God. As I stand here today as a confirmand, a member of the 96th confirmation class, and a representation of my true self, I reconfirm my commitment to God, to my Jewish community, and to the world around me. I hope everyone in this room takes the time to reevaluate if you are living in a genuine way. If so, be happy and thankful you have found your path already. If not, take the time to really get to know yourself, and through the idea of Emet, be true to yourself. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with the eternal truth on page 239. I will read the unindented part alone, then you will join me on the indented part. Unindented. Okay. Thanks. I'll be here all day. The eternal truth is that you are God and there is none else. May the righteous in all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you will be accepted as your equal, for we were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Ask God. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High, and blesses God and deserving of blessing.
Shabbat Shalom. So I learned this morning that it has been exactly 10 years since Rabbi Keller became a rabbi. So, congrats. Okay. Being a confirmand teaches you many things, several about Jewish values and beliefs, and many about leadership. Although most of the time our discussions veered off course to the point where we began the night talking about Jewish beliefs post-mortem and ended the night talking about trapdoors we could push Rachel Monheit through, we always seemed to cover the perfect amount to learn about Judaism as a whole. One of the main topics we covered was leadership. Most of the people you see up here today participated in the leadership training program at Camp Stein, and others have done leadership activities outside of camp. One of the lessons we focused on in confirmation was the different types of leaders that exist. For example, I'm a visionary leader, someone who feels the need to take charge and make big decisions for the group. Nachshon was an affiliated leader, someone who acts for the group. When the Israelites were running from the Egyptians after being freed from Pharaoh's rule, they came across the Red Sea. Being that most of them probably couldn't swim, it was a bit of a problem. Nachshon, being the leader he was, decided to trust his faith and began walking into the water, every step exclaiming what we now know to be the Mi Chamocha. He kept going further and further until the water began pouring into his mouth, and when his last breath was drawn, saying the last line of the prayer, the water split. Page 241 in the Siddur has a quote that reads, "And what is my lifespan? I'm like a man gone out of Egypt. The Red Sea parts, I cross on dry land, 2 walls of water on my right and on my left, Pharaoh's army and horsemen behind me. Before me the desert, perhaps the promised land too. That is my lifespan." This quote connects me to Moses, Nachshon, and all the Israelites because it shows me that the lives we all lead are parallel to the journeys of our ancestors. Our lives are full of ups and downs, trials and errors, yet we overcome these challenges as much stronger, smarter people, just as the Israelites finished their 40-year journey to the Promised Land stronger than when they started. A trek to the place that I'm traveling this summer. A trip led by Randy Burke, Jason Bronowitz, and Jesse Lynn Kreitzer will take several members of this confirmation class and me to historical landmarks in Israel. Although we won't be visiting the Red Sea this time, I hope to one day visit the place where one of the greatest miracles known occurred, where a person's total faith in God helped to save the lives of the people around him. Please join me and Kara in singing the Song of the Sea, the Mi Chamocha, on page 240.
Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Maya Shoulder. Adonai sivatai titach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. What does this prayer mean to me? This prayer is the chance for me to ask for God's permission to declare my praise. To me, this prayer is one of the highlights of the service. Though short in length, its message is powerful. Adonai Sivatai allows the congregation to join as one voice to ask God one of the most important questions in the service. I love the feeling of togetherness when the congregation stands facing the ark, singing this sacred text. I feel extremely connected to Judaism whenever I hear this prayer because I think God listens to this question when we all ask it. However, I love Adonai Sivatai most because there are so many melodies to this song. Because of its length, Adonai Sivatai is easily turned into a variety of songs. It is easy to remember, and it's very simplistic. Each melody resonates with me in a different way, helping me grow to love this prayer even more. The various melodic options help me individualize and internalize this prayer. Another way I have become more connected to God, but most importantly Judaism, is by going through the confirmation process. When you go through Hebrew school, you learn about Israel and Gemilut Hasadim, acts of loving kindness. While these are important things to learn, I think that learning about Judaism's views on death and society are more important. It has helped us grow as Jews and allowed us to decide whether or not we agree with everything Judaism stands for. I learned that in Reform Judaism, you don't have to believe in everything that you're technically supposed to. It doesn't matter if you believe in it all or not. What matters is the community built and friendships made. Honestly, I don't really want to sit through services all the time. I don't jump and down every time I go to services like I did when I was younger. I go because I want to feel connected to services and God, and I want to be a part of this special CBI community. For many years, Rabbi Kahn, Rabbi Keller, and Jackie Huber have made it such a welcoming and loving place. I love coming to synagogue to see my friends and teaching the little kids at Hebrew school. Confirmation is what helped me realize that. I realized I didn't truly connect to Judaism because of the services or the beliefs it holds. I really connected to Judaism because of the people that come here and the friendships I have made. Without CBI, I never would have known about Camp Stein or Biddy or Nifty or the Big Trip. So I just wanted to thank everyone at CBI who has inspired me to get to where I am today. I honestly believe that without this welcoming community, I would never have done any of the things I do today. Thank you all, and thank you for the opportunity to become a confirmand. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. George Washington, David Ben-Gurion, Charles Pearlstein. All these men founded or helped to create something great. These men helped to create America, Israel, and what is now known as Camp Stein. Without these men, we would not be who we were today. Much alike, Judaism would not be what it was without its ancestral ties. In the Avot, we pray in the name of Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These forefathers and foremothers instilled in us our heritage and morals, the basis of Judaism to this day. Abraham's story with the 3 angels tells us that we should all be hospitable and kind. It was also my Torah portion. Our other ancestors teach us the same types of lessons such as kindness, patience, courage, and much more. The Avot is not only a tribute to our ancestors that came long before us, but also a tribute to God, thanking God for the world we live in. In my world, many loving family and friends surround me. In my confirmation class this year, we learned through discussion about Jewish values what God really is or isn't, death in the Jewish perspective, in Israel. Being a confirmand is the next milestone in my life. I started attending religious school here when I was in the 3rd grade. I became a bat mitzvah here, went to Mayan, became a Biddy board member, joined Nifty, and have attended Camp Pearlstein, or what is now known as Camp Stein, for the past 6 years. I have met my best friends here and found my home at a place I never expected. Being a confirmand in my eyes means much more responsibility for knowledge of the Jewish world. They say you become Jewish adult at your bar and bat mitzvah, and they were right. As soon as I received my talis, I got a whole lot more responsibility. It took me a while to figure out how to handle that responsibility, but I managed okay. Now that I am becoming a confirmand, I am more prepared than ever to take on even more responsibility for others and myself. I thank them, and I thank God that I am here with people who I love celebrating yet another milestone in my life. First, my mom and dad. You have both been so supportive of me in whatever I do, and I am forever grateful. The opportunities that you have provided me are endless, and there aren't enough in the words in the world to express how thankful I am for all that you do. Zach, thanks for always making my sandwich in the morning when I'm too lazy. I wouldn't have lunch if I was without you, you know. I love you to death for always closing my bedroom door at night when I ask you to, when we're done talking and ranting. I would also like to thank all my family and friends for always supporting me in whatever I do. Rabbi Kahn and Rabbi Keller. Went the wrong way. Okay. Thank you for putting up with my nonstop talking and teaching me what it really means to be a Jewish adult in this world. I will never forget all the things I have learned from my two amazing teachers this past year. Thank you all for an incredible year, and I can't wait for what's coming next. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
If I can find it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. It's an honor to stand before you. If you don't know me already, my name is Gabriel Breakstone, and I'm standing here because of many reasons, but perhaps the most prominent being the fact that I wish to further my Jewish education and studies, along with my personal Jewish identity, by being confirmed and traveling to Israel this summer. The prayer I was asked to speak about is the Givurot. This prayer speaks about might and the powers that God possesses, along with the strength, love, sustenance, and giving. It speaks about the importance of life that God provides, and how God has the ability to take life and give it. This prayer means so much more. In my life, there are so many people who sustain it with their own love and their own giving. And each day, I am strengthened and supported by those that I love and care for. My parents, grandparents, and friends all make sure that I have the love and support that I do every day. I do my part by providing the same love to support those very people and the people that look out for me. In all of our lives, there are people that support us, strengthen us, protect us, and there's a mighty God that watches over them as well. For example, there are almost 200,000 soldiers that protect Israel, our Jewish homeland, by risking their lives every day so that people both inside and out of their borders feel the same sense of support and strength, and most of all protection, that God provides those very soldiers. They rely on the giving of life and taking of life that God provides as stated in this prayer. Furthermore, the word Givurot means powers. This prayer is really a declaration that God has the power to do what he wishes to help, strengthen, support, and protect us. We all need to remember that there's always someone watching over us, and there to both give life and take. Wherever we are, we can always rely on someone to sustain our lives through love. And most of all, I take away that God can both give life and resurrect the dead, meaning that he is, after all, always there, always watching over us, protecting us, and strengthening us. I think this sustaining power is evident in this room, as we confirmands help to unify and strengthen our people. It's a big job, but I think that this group particularly can further carry the torch of what it means to be a strong people. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. There were many times in my childhood that I considered not coming to religious school anymore because I thought it was a waste of time. But with a little convincing and encouragement from my parents, I decided to endure the dreaded Sunday school. Looking back, I am so thankful and glad that I made the right decision to stay. Part of the reason confirmation holds deep importance to me is because I want to please my parents and simultaneously assure them that I know right from wrong, and promise them I will continue practicing Judaism. The other part is keeping this promise for myself to continue to practice Judaism and develop my own beliefs and opinions even more. Confirming my religion is also reassurance to that idea. If I'm ever lost in my life, I have some place to turn for guidance and comfort. Religious school has taught me a great deal about who I am and what I believe in as an individual, and also about customs and the history of Jews. If I had dropped out, I would have not learned the different meanings of Jewish values that influence and shape the decisions I make every day. Judaism defines me and helps guide my outlook on life. This outlook can connect to the words of the Kedusha Blessing we chanted a few minutes ago. The Kedusha talks about the holiness of God, affirming our personal link that each and every one of us shares. Confirmation class has taught me to challenge and debate Jewish questions. To wrestle with God, it has taught me to include Judaism in my life today and in the future. Now I see religious school as not only a learning experience, but as a teaching experience, and I feel pity for all the kids in my class who dropped out and robbed themselves of this enlightenment. I've started to believe that Judaism is more than just my religion. It is my lifestyle. It is about my traditions, my heritage. It is my blood, and I want to carry it on and inspire others to feel the same, because I am proud of being Jewish. As a Jew, I feel like I hold the responsibility to learn as much as I can, and not only act upon the things that I learned, but also share my education with others and motivate them to do the same. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Hello, I'm Henry Lerner. The Ismahu is a prayer that describes what one shall achieve by worshiping God. It explains that by observing Shabbat, the Jewish people will rejoice in God's dominion. Similarly, confirmation gives Jewish teenagers a chance to connect with God, and by doing so, we are able to celebrate Judaism. Coming into confirmation, I didn't think I would enjoy it because I didn't have much faith in God. It was my decision to attend confirmation, but I wanted to go to bond with my Jewish community, not to learn about God or anything else. I go to Brophy College Preparatory, a Catholic school in Central Phoenix, and when I began to hear all the slight differences between Christianity and Judaism, I began to believe that no one knew the truth. I began to believe that God was a made-up concept that provided us with hope. I went on believing that there was no God for about a year until I came to confirmation. At first, I still didn't believe God was real, but as time went on, my beliefs began to change. During confirmation, I learned that we all didn't have to believe in the same thing to be Jewish, and that made me more interested in the subject. One of our topics of the class was about the Jewish afterlife, and when Rabbi Khan was teaching it, he gave us many different thoughts about the afterlife to choose from, and I liked that. I began to reconnect with God because I had the ability to make my own decisions and create my own views. God isn't a dictator, and God doesn't control our every action, so I put my faith back in God, and I found God once again. The Ismahu is an important prayer because it gives me the chance to really connect with God. I get to show my praise for God and show him I am proud of God's accomplishments, like a partnership. I get to show off my Jewish pride and be one with my fellow Jewish community. The Ismahu might not be one of the most popular prayers, but it can mean a lot if you critically analyze the prayer. Thank you.
We read together on page 256.
We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live you and praise you in your name bless. Blessed are you, Adonai, for your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatav shimcha uchal na'el uchador.
Page 200. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I missed my cue. I will go sit.
Boker Tov. My name is Adrienne Barretts. Confirmation. What is confirmation? To me, confirmation is furthering my Jewish studies on a deeper level about various subjects that many people are afraid to talk about. The subjects that were discussed throughout the year range from Jewish views on the afterlife, analyzing songs, what it means to be a leader, and the current events of Israel. Not only do I get to see some of my best friends every Thursday night, but I got to expand more in my knowledge about Judaism. One topic in particular that I found interesting was the historical aspects and daily life of the Israelis. This is especially important to me because I will be spending a month in Israel with some of the people you see behind me. Knowing the history of the country and daily life will be even more important when we are visiting the country. I know this trip will be one that I never forget because I am spending my 16th birthday in the Holy Land with my friends. The prayer Sim Shalom also relates to the topic of Israel. The prayer is about asking God for peace not only in our daily lives but in the state of Israel and how God is the source of peace. This prayer speaks of the safeguarding over the land and health and happiness of all the homes and people of Israel. The prayer also asks to strengthen friendship bonds, to keep the Torah safe, and for everyone to have virtue in themselves. This prayer is significant to all of our daily lives because no matter what the case may be, you can still ask for peace, whether that may be finding peace within ourselves, a friend, a family member, or even something as big as the state of Israel. I find peace when I'm at camp with my best friends, spending quality time with my family, playing with my dog, taking pictures, listening to music, and going to nifty Southwest events. I hope the Sim Shalom prayer makes as much as an impact on your life as it does to mine. At this time, I would like to thank all of the people that made this all possible. First, I would like to thank my parents. for urging me to become of the confirmation class and being the best parents. Thank you to my brother Matthew and to my sister Erica for inspiring me every day and setting the example for me as my older siblings in my Jewish life. Next, I'd like to thank Rabbi Kahn and Rabbi Keller for dealing with the craziness of the sophomore class every week, teaching me all I need to know about the Jewish religion, and being some of the people I look up to today. Finally, I would like to thank all of the confirmants behind me for always finding a way to make me laugh every time we are together. Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to be here and share with so many of our families, and also to have so many congregants who don't have kids or grandkids in the confirmation class, who come year after year after year because of how powerful it is to experience this moment. Many of these kids who went through Channon Preschool at Congregation Beth Israel, went to religious school. Many of them go to Camp Stein every summer. Many were bar and bat mitzvah, and some are brand new. Some are here with us studying and learning and growing as a community, just as you heard in the last year. And nonetheless, this is a celebration for our community, not just the people in this room, but really all of the confirmands who have ever been confirmed at Congregation Beth Israel. One of the most powerful experiences in the time that I've been here, a few years ago on the High Holy Days, there was a mishap in Aliyot, who was going to be called for the Torah on Rosh Hashanah to bless the Torah. And so in a moment of last-minute decision-making, I called on everyone who had ever been a confirmand at Congregation Beth Israel. I think this was 2 or 3 years ago. And to see people in their 80s and 70s, it was almost like a decade celebration. We had one member, Jerry Lukowitz, who actually became bar mitzvah at Congregation Beth Israel in 1933 at the building that is now the home of the Cutler Plotkin Jewish Heritage Center, in that building, in that first building. People in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and now you all get to join that group of alumni, if you will, of CBI's confirmation classes dating all the way back to 1921. In fact, we have a replica in my office. We have a replica of the program from that first confirmation class in 1921, held down on 2nd and Culver Street. You're now part of history. And so, since this is a communal celebration, a past, present, and future moment, we're going to present you with a confirmation certificate and with a copy of a book about Israel, since you all got to spend some time studying leadership in Israel with Rabbi Keller, called Startup Nation. And that'll be a great book for those of you who are going on the big trip to try to read after you're done with your finals. Try to read a little bit before, if not the whole thing, it's not too long, it's easy reading, before you go on the big trip, because you will be able to see, or at least read about some of the things that you'll be seeing. In order